Samsung Electronics Co., Limited is a South Korean multinational major appliance and consumer electronics corporation founded on January 13, 1969 and headquartered in Yeongtong-gu, Suwon, South Korea. It is currently the pinnacle of the Samsung chaebol, accounting for 70% of the group's revenue in 2012, and has played a key role in the group's corporate governance due to cross-ownership. It is majority owned by foreign investors. As of 2019, Samsung Electronics is the world's second largest technology company by revenue, and its market capitalization stood at $520.65 billion, the 12th largest in the world. It ranks as the world's largest manufacturer of smartphones since 2011, most notably its Samsung Galaxy brand and its flagship Galaxy S series, and has also been the largest television manufacturer since 2006, both of which include related software and services like Samsung Pay and TV Plus. The company pioneered the phablet form factor with the Galaxy Note family. Samsung is also a major vendor of washing machines, refrigerators, computer monitors and soundbars. Samsung Electronics is also a major manufacturer of electronic components such as lithium-ion batteries, semiconductors, image sensors, camera modules, and displays for clients such as Apple, Sony, HTC, and Nokia. It is also the world's largest semiconductor memory manufacturer, and from 2017 to 2018, was the largest semiconductor company in the world, briefly dethroning Intel, the decades-long champion. Samsung Electronics has assembly plants and sales networks in 76 countries and employs more than 260,000 people. Samsung Electric Industries was established as an industrial part of Samsung Group on January 13, 1969 in Suwon, South Korea. At the time, Samsung Group was known to the South Korean public as a trading company specialized in fertilizers and sweeteners. Despite the lack of technology and resources, falling shorter even than the domestic competitors, Samsung Group improved its footing in the manufacturing industry by cooperating with the Japanese companies, a decision that led to a significant amount of anti-Japanese public outcry and huge backlashes from the competitors fearing the outright subordination of the industry by the Japanese. The strategy was able to take off only after the government and Samsung declared that the company would exclusively focus on exports. Toshio Iue, the founder of Sanyo, played a role as an advisor to Lee Byung-chul, Samsung's founder, who was a novice in the electronics business. In December of the same year, Samsung Electric established a joint venture named Samsung Sanyo Electric with Sanyo and Sumitomo Corporation. This is the direct predecessor of today's Samsung Electronics. The joint venture's early products were electronic and electrical appliances including televisions, calculators, refrigerators, air conditioners, and washing machines. In 1970, Samsung established the joint venture Samsung NEC with Japan's NEC Corporation and Sumitomo Corporation to manufacture home appliances and audiovisual devices. Samsung NEC later became Samsung SDI, the group's display and battery business unit. In 1973, Samsung and Sanyo created Samsung Sanyo Parts, the predecessor of Samsung Electromechanics. By 1981, Samsung Electric had manufactured over 10 million black and white televisions. In 1974, Samsung Group expanded into the semiconductor business by acquiring Korea Semiconductor, which was on the verge of bankruptcy while building one of the first chip-making facilities in the country at the time. Soon after, Korea Telecommunications, an electronic switching system producer and a Samsung Group company, took over the semiconductor business and became Samsung Semiconductor and Communications. In February 1983, Lee, along with the board of the Samsung Industry and Corporation Agreement and helped by sponsoring the event, made an announcement later dubbed the Tokyo Declaration, in which he declared that Samsung intended to become a dynamic random access memory, DRAM, vendor. 1 year later, Samsung announced that it had successfully developed a 64 KB DRAM, reducing the technological gap between the companies from first world countries and the young electronics maker from more than a decade to approximately 4 years. In the process, Samsung used technologies imported from Micron Technology of the U.S. for the development of Drum and Sharp Corporation of Japan for its SRAM and ROM. In 1988, Samsung Electric Industries merged with Samsung Semiconductor and Communications to form Samsung Electronics. As before that, they had not been one company and had not been a leading corporation together, but they were not rivals, as they had been in talks for a time until they finally merged. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Samsung sold personal computers under the leading technology brand. However, the equipment was manufactured by Samsung, and the FCC filings from this period typically refer to Samsung products. In 1988, Samsung Electronics launched its first mobile phone in the South Korean market. Sales were initially poor, and by the early 1990s, Motorola held a market share of over 60% in the country's mobile phone market compared to just 10% for Samsung. Samsung's mobile phone division also struggled with poor quality and inferior products until the mid-1990s, and exit from the sector was a frequent topic of discussion within the company. Lee Kun-hee decided that Samsung needed to change its strategy. The company shelved the production of many underselling product lines and instead pursued a process of designing and manufacturing components and investing in new technologies for other companies. In addition, Samsung outlined a 10-year plan to shrug off its image as a budget brand and to challenge Sony as the world's largest consumer electronics manufacturer. It was hoped that, in this way, Samsung would gain an understanding of how products are made and give a technological lead sometime in the future. This patient vertical integration strategy of manufacturing components has borne fruit for Samsung in the late 2000s. A complementary brand leadership strategy was also initiated by Chairman Lee when he declared 1996 to be the year of design revolution at Samsung. His objective was to build Samsung design capabilities as a competitive asset and transform the company into a global brand design leader. However, this effort required major changes in corporate culture, processes, and systems. By integrating a comprehensive design management system and strategy into the corporate culture, Samsung was successful in developing an award-winning product design portfolio by the late 1990s, resulting in significant brand equity growth. As Samsung shifted away from consumer markets, the company devised a plan to sponsor major sporting events. One such sponsorship was for the 1998 Winter Olympics held in Nagano, Japan. As a chaebol, Samsung Group wielded wealth that allowed the company to invest and develop new technology rather than build products at a level that would not have a detrimental impact on Samsung's finances. Samsung had a number of technological breakthroughs, particularly in the field of memory, which are commonplace in most electrical products today. This includes the world's first 64 MB DRAM in 1992, 256 MB DRAM in 1994, and 1 GB DRAM in 1996. In 2004, Samsung developed the world's first 8 GB NAND flash memory chip, and a manufacturing deal was struck with Apple in 2005. A deal to supply Apple with memory chips was sealed in 2005, and Samsung remains a key supplier of Apple components as of October 2013, manufacturing the A7 processors inside the iPhone 5S model. From 2000 to 2003, Samsung maintained a net earnings growth of over 5%, even as 16 of South Korea's 30 largest companies collapsed following a financial crisis. In 2005, Samsung surpassed its Japanese rival, Sony, for the first time, becoming the 20th most popular global consumer brand according to Interbrand rankings. In 2007, Samsung overtook Motorola to become the world's second largest smartphone manufacturer. By 2009, Samsung achieved $117 billion in revenue, overtaking Hewlett-Packard to become the world's largest technology company by sales. However, Samsung faced legal challenges in 2009 and 2010 when the US and the EU fined the company along with other memory chip manufacturers for involvement in a price-fixing scheme that occurred between 1999 to 2002. In 2010, Samsung was granted immunity from prosecution by the EU for acting as an informant during the investigation into the LCD price-fixing cartel, leading to the implication of other companies, including LG Display and Hanstar. Despite its continuous growth, Samsung has been portrayed as financially insecure. In 2010, after returning from temporary retirement, Chairman Lee Kun-hee expressed concern about the company's future, stating, "Samsung Electronics' future is not guaranteed, as most of our flagship products will be obsolete within 10 years. Samsung has since set ambitious goals, aiming for $400 billion in annual revenue within a decade, with 24 global research and development centers contributing to these efforts." In 2011, Samsung sold its hard disk drive, HDD, operations to Seagate Technology for $1.4 billion in cash and stock. In 2012, Kwon Oh-hyun was appointed CEO of Samsung Electronics. He announced his resignation in 2017, citing an unprecedented crisis. His departure signaled the transition to a leadership structure with 3 co-CEOs, which lasted until 2021, when Kyung Ki-hyun and Han Jong-hee were appointed as new CEOs after a company-wide reorganization. In 2014, Samsung made headlines by introducing the Samsung Galaxy S4, a new entry in its Galaxy smartphone series, and successfully tested enhanced 5G technology. From 2014 onward, Samsung expanded its presence in technology markets. In April 2014, Samsung launched the Galaxy S5, followed by the Galaxy S6 and Galaxy S6 Edge in 2015, both of which featured a significant redesign and introduced the concept of curved screens. The same year, Samsung also entered the rapidly growing Internet of Things, IoT, market by acquiring the smart home company SmartThings. In 2016, Samsung faced one of its most publicized crises when its Galaxy Note 7 devices began to overheat and catch fire due to defective batteries. This led to a global recall of the product and a temporary halt in production. Despite the setback, Samsung recovered by launching successful products such as the Galaxy S8 and Galaxy Note 8 in 2017, which helped restore consumer confidence. During this time, Samsung continued its push into new markets. In November 2016, it announced its acquisition of Harman International Industries for $8 billion, marking a major step into the automotive technology sector, particularly in connected car solutions. In 2017, Samsung reported record profits driven by its semiconductor business, particularly memory chips. By 2018, the company had solidified its position as one of the leading global manufacturers of semiconductors, overtaking Intel as the world's largest semiconductor supplier. In 2021, Samsung announced plans to invest $17 billion to build a new semiconductor manufacturing facility in Taylor, Texas, part of its strategy to expand its chip production capabilities amid the global semiconductor shortage. At CES 2024, Samsung demonstrated Balai, an AI-powered home robot designed to assist with daily tasks, monitor pets, and integrate with smart home appliances. Samsung has been working to meet sustainability goals and reduce its environmental impact. In 2023, the company announced a partnership with British Gas to integrate its services into Samsung's SmartThings app, helping users reduce energy consumption through smarter home management. As part of the partnership, British Gas began offering Samsung's energy-efficient heat pumps to support the UK's 2050 net zero goals. In 2024, Samsung continues to be a leader in consumer electronics, semiconductors, and AI development, shaping technology through its innovations in smart homes, connected devices, and sustainable energy solutions. In mid-November 2021, Samsung Electronics was ranked second in the best global brands by YouGov, a market research firm, after placing fourth in the 2020 ranking. In June 2022, PricewaterhouseCoopers ranked Samsung Electronics 22nd on their global top 100 companies by market capitalization. The company slid 7 notches from the 2021 rankings due to global inflation, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and global monetary tightening. The company focuses on 4 areas: digital media, semiconductors, telecommunication networks, and LCD digital appliances. The digital media business area covers computer devices such as laptop computers and laser printers, digital displays such as televisions and computer monitors, consumer entertainment devices such as DVD players, MP3 players, and digital camcorders, home appliances such as refrigerators, air conditioners, air purifiers, washing machines, microwave ovens, vacuum cleaners, and robot vacuum cleaners. The semiconductor business area includes semiconductor chips such as SDRAM, SRAM, NAND flash memory, smart cards, mobile application development, mobile application processors, mobile TV receivers, RF transceivers, CMOS image sensors, smart card IC, MP3 IC, DVD/Blu-ray disc/HD DVD player SoC, and multi-chip package, MCP. The telecommunication network business area includes multi-service DSLAMs and fax machines, cellular devices such as mobile phones, PDA phones, and hybrid devices called mobile intelligent terminals, MITs, and satellite receivers. The LCD business area focuses on producing TFT LCD and organic light emitting diode, OLED, panels for laptops, desktop monitors, and televisions. Samsung Print was established in 2009 as a separate entity to focus on B2B sales and released a broad range of multifunctional devices, printers, and more. As of 2018, Samsung sold its printing business to HP. Samsung Electronics produces LCD and LED panels, mobile phones, memory chips, NAND flash, solid-state drives, televisions, digital cinema screens, laptops, and many more products. The company previously produced hard drives and printers. Samsung consistently invests in innovation. In 2021, the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO's annual World Intellectual Property Indicators report ranked Samsung's number of patent applications published under the PCT system as second in the world, with 3,093 patent applications being published during 2020. This position is up from their previous ranking as third in 2019 with 2,334 applications. By 2004, Samsung was the world's largest manufacturer of OLEDs, with a 40% market share worldwide, and as of 2018 has a 98% share of the global AMOLED market. The company generated $100.2 million out of the total $475 million revenues in the global OLED market in 2006. As of 2006, it held more than 600 American patents and more than 2,800 international patents, making it the largest owner of AMOLED technology patents. Samsung's current AMOLED smartphones use its Super AMOLED trademark, with the Samsung Wave S8500 and Samsung i9000 Galaxy S being launched in June 2010. In January 2011, it announced its Super AMOLED Plus displays, which offer several advances over the older Super AMOLED displays: real stripe matrix, 50% more sub-pixels, thinner form factor, brighter image, and an 18% reduction in energy consumption. In October 2007, Samsung introducing a 10mm thick, 40-inch LCD television panel, followed in October 2008 by the world's first 7.9mm panel. Samsung developed panels for 24-inch LCD monitors, 3.5mm, and 12.1-inch laptops, 1.64mm. In 2009, Samsung succeeded in developing a panel for 40-inch LED televisions, with a thickness of 3.9mm, 0.15 inch. Dubbed the Needle Slim, the panel is as thick, or thin, as two coins put together. This is about a twelfth of the conventional LCD panel, whose thickness is approximately 50 mm, 1.97 inches. While reducing the thickness substantially, the company maintained the performance of previous models, including Full HD 1080p resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 5000:1 contrast ratio. On September 6, 2013, Samsung launched its 55-inch curved OLED TV, model K55S9C, in the United Kingdom with John Lewis. In October 2013, Samsung disseminated a press release for its curved display technology with the Galaxy Round smartphone model. The press release described the product as the world's first commercialized Full HD Super AMOLED flexible display. The manufacturer explains that users can check information such as time and battery life when the home screen is off, and can receive information from the screen by tilting the device. Samsung's mobile cell business began with a car phone in 1984, while its first handheld mobile phone called the SH100 was made in 1988. It expanded to other markets during the 1990s. Its first smartphone was the Samsung SPHI 300 in 2001. During the early 2000s, Samsung popularized the clamshell, flip phone, design, and the SGHT 100 was the first ever true color mobile phone and the firm's first to sell over 10 million handsets. In the mid-2000s, the SGHT 500 popularized the slider form factor, and later slider products such as the E250 were hits. In 2006, Samsung's X820 with a depth of 6.9 mm was the thinnest phone, and for many years its successor U100 would remain the skinniest at just 5.9 mm. In 2007 it launched the slate-style touchscreen phone F700, which would precede its increasingly relevant touch phones such as Taco and Omnia. Samsung overtook declining Motorola to become the world's second largest mobile phone market during 2007. Presently, Samsung's flagship mobile handset line is the Samsung Galaxy S series of smartphones, which many consider a direct competitor of the Apple iPhone. It was initially launched in Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea in June 2010, followed by the United States in July. It sold more than 1 million units within the first 45 days on sale in the United States. While many other handset manufacturers focused on one or two operating systems, Samsung for a time used several of them: Symbian, Windows Phone, Linux-based Limo, and Samsung's proprietary TouchWiz, Bada and Tizen. 89 By 2013, Samsung had dropped all operating systems except Android Phone and Windows Phone. That year Samsung released at least 43 Android phones or tablets and 2 Windows phones. At the end of the third quarter of 2010, the company had surpassed the 70 million unit mark in shipped phones, giving it a global market share of 22%, trailing Nokia by 12%. Overall, the company sold 280 million mobile phones in 2010, corresponding to a market share of 20.2%. The company overtook Apple in worldwide smartphone sales during the third quarter 2011, with a total market share of 23.8%, compared to Apple's 14.6% share. Samsung became the world's largest smartphone manufacturer in 2012, with the sales of 95 million in the first quarter. During the third quarter of 2013, Samsung's smartphone sales improved in emerging markets such as India and the Middle East, where cheaper handsets were most popular. As of October 2013, the company offers 40 smartphone models on its US website. In 2019, Samsung announced that it has ended production of mobile phones in China, due to lack of Chinese demand. As of 2019, Samsung employs over 200,000 employees in the Hanoi area of Vietnam to produce smartphones, while offshoring some manufacturing to China and manufacturing large portions of its phones in India. In May 2022, Samsung Electronics announced the company had expanded the Samsung Knox Enterprise mobile security platform with the introduction of Samsung Knox Guard. It allows companies to quickly make phones unusable to potentially deter theft and reduce risk of fraud and data breaches. Samsung Electronics has been the world's largest memory chip manufacturer since 1993, and the largest semiconductor company since 2017. Samsung Semiconductor Division manufactures various semiconductor devices, including semiconductor nodes, MOSFET transistors, integrated circuit chips, and semiconductor memory. Since the early 1990s, Samsung Electronics has commercially introduced a number of new memory technologies. They commercially introduced SDRAM, synchronous dynamic random access memory, in 1992, and later DDR SDRAM, double data rate SDRAM, and GDDR, graphics DDR, SRAM, synchronous graphics RAM, in 1998. In 2009, Samsung started mass-producing 30nm class NAND flash memory, and in 2010 succeeded in mass-producing 30nm class DRAM and 20nm class NAND flash, both of which were for the first time in the world. They also commercially introduced TLC, triple-level cell, NAND flash memory in 2010, VNAND flash in 2013, LPDDR4 SDRAM in 2013, HBM2 in 2016, GDDR6 in January 2018, and LPDDR5 in June 2018. Another area where the company has had significant business in for years is the foundry segment. It had begun investment in the foundry business since 2006, and positioned it as one of the strategic pillars for semiconducctor growth. Since then, Samsung has been a leader in semiconductor device fabrication. Samsung began mass production of a 20nm class semiconductor manufacturing process in 2010, followed by a 10nm class FinFET process in 2013, and 7nm FinFET nodes in 2018. They also began production of the first 5nm nodes in late 2018, with plans to introduce 3nm GAVET nodes by 2021. According to market research firm Gartner, during the second quarter of 2010, Samsung Electronics took the top position in the DRAM segment due to brisk sales of the item on the world market. Gartner analysts said in their report, Samsung cemented its leading position by taking a 35% market share. All the other suppliers had minimal change in their shares. The company took the top slot in the ranking, followed by Hynix, Elpida, and Micron, said Gartner. In 2010, market researcher IC Insights predicted that Samsung would become the world's biggest semiconductor chip supplier by 2014, surpassing Intel. For the 10-year period from 1999 to 2009, Samsung's compound annual growth rate in semiconductor revenues was 13.5%, compared with 3.4% for Intel. For 2015, IC Insights and Gartner announced that Samsung was the fourth largest chip manufacturer in the world. Samsung eventually surpassed Intel to become the world's largest semiconductor company in 2017. By the second quarter of 2020, the company had planned to start mass production of 5nm chips using extreme ultraviolet lithography, EUV, and aimed to become a leader in EUV process use. On November 30, 2021, it was announced that the company would be producing new auto chips for Volkswagen vehicles. The logic chips will be used in entertainment systems to provide 5G telecommunications to meet the increased demand for high-definition video while traveling. The Xi'an, China facility, which has been running since 2014, produces approximately 40% of Samsung Electronics' NAND flash memory chips. In 2016, Samsung also launched to market a 15.36 TB SSD with a price tag of $10,000 using a SAS interface, using a 2.5-inch form factor but with the thickness of 3.5-inch drives. This was the first time a commercially available SSD had more capacity than the largest currently available HDD. In 2018, Samsung introduced to market a 30.72 TB SSD using a SAS interface. Samsung introduced an M.2 NVMe SSD with read speeds of 3500 MB/s and write speeds of 3300 MB/s in the same year. In 2019, Samsung introduced SSDs capable of 8 GB/s sequential read and write speeds and 1.5 million IOPS, capable of moving data from damaged chips to undamaged chips, to allow the SSD to continue working normally, albeit at a lower capacity. Samsung's consumer SSD lineup currently consists of the 980 Pro, 970 Pro, 970 EVO Plus, 970 EVO, 960 Pro, 960 EVO, 950 Pro, 860 QVO, 860 Pro, 860 EVO, 850 Pro, 850 EVO, and the 750 EVO. The SSD's models beginning with the 9 use an NVMe Express interface and the rest use a serial ATA interface. Samsung also produces consumer portable SSDs using a USB-C USB 3.1 Gen 2 connector. The drives offer read speeds of 1,050 MB/s and write speeds of 1,000 MB/s and are available as 500 GB, 1 TB, and 2 TB models. Like many other SSD producers, Samsung's SSDs use NAND flash memory produced by Samsung Electronics. In the area of storage media, in 2009 Samsung achieved a 10% world market share, driven by the introduction of a new hard disk drive capable of storing 250 GB per 2.5-inch disk. In 2010, the company started marketing the 320 GB per disk HDD, the largest in the industry. In addition, it was focusing more on selling external hard disk drives. Following financial losses, the hard disk division was sold to Seagate in 2011 in return for a 9.6% ownership stake in Seagate. In 2009, Samsung sold around 31 million flat-panel televisions, enabling it to maintain the world's largest market share for a fourth consecutive year. Samsung launched its first full HD 3D LED television in March 2010. Samsung had showcased the product at the 2010 International Consumer Electronics Show, CES 2010, held in Las Vegas. Samsung sold more than 1 million 3D televisions within 6 months of its launch. This is the figure close to what many market researchers forecast for the year's worldwide 3D television sales, 1.23 million units. It also debuted the 3D home theater, HTC 6950W, that allows the user to enjoy 3D image and surround sound at the same time. With the launch of 3D home theater, Samsung became the first company in the industry to have the full line of 3D offerings, including 3D television, 3D Blu-ray player, 3D content, and 3D glasses. In 2007, Samsung introduced the Internet TV, enabling the viewer to receive information from the internet while at the same time watching conventional television programming. Samsung later developed Smart LED TV, now renamed to Samsung Smart TV, which additionally supports downloaded smart television apps. In 2008, the company launched the Power Info Link service, followed in 2009 by a whole new Internet at TV. In 2010, it started marketing the 3D television while unveiling the upgraded Internet at TV 2010, which offers free, or for fee, download of applications from its Samsung App Store, in addition to existing services such as news, weather, stock market, YouTube videos, and movies. Samsung Apps offers for fee premium services in a few countries including Korea and the United States. The services will be custom tailored for each region. Samsung plans to offer family-oriented applications such as healthcare programs and digital picture frames as well as games. Samsung's range of smart TVs include the Apps iTV player and motion-controlled games such as Angry Birds. Since 2015, Samsung's proprietary fast streaming service Samsung TV Plus was pre-installed to the smart TVs. The company started as a budget display monitor brand in the 1980s, producing cathode ray tube, CRT, monitors for computers, from which it then evolved. By the end of the decade, Samsung had become the world's largest monitor manufacturer, selling over 8 million monitors by 1989. During the 1990s to the 2000s, Samsung started producing LCD monitors using TFT technology, to which it still emphasizes on the budget market against the competition, while at the same time starting to also focus on catering to the middle and upper markets through partnership with brands such as NEC and Sony via a joint venture. As it grew and became more advanced, it later on acquired the joint venture corporations to form the current Samsung OLED and SLCD Corporation respectively from its former joint venture partners. As of 2015, Samsung smart televisions and smart monitors run an operating system customized from the open-source Linux-based Tizen OS. Given Samsung's high market share in the smart television market, approximately 20% of smart televisions sold worldwide in 2018 run Tizen. In 2019, Samsung announced that they will be bringing the Apple TV app, formerly iTunes Movies and TV Shows app, and AirPlay 2 support to its 2019 and 2018 smart TVs, via firmware update. Samsung's Odyssey gaming monitors are designed for professional gamers and gaming enthusiasts. As of 2022, the Odyssey range consists of 4 main series, each with different resolutions, refresh rates, and aspect ratios. At the CES 2022, Samsung showed the Odyssey Neo G8, the world's first 4K monitor with a refresh rate of 240 Hz. It features a 32-inch mini LED 1000R curved display with 1196 local dimming zones that supports HDR10+ with a peak brightness of up to 2000 nits, and is G-Sync and FreeSync certified. It was released on June 6, 2022, for an MSRP of $1,500. In the past, Samsung produced printers for both consumers and business use, including monolaser printers, color laser printers, multifunction printers, and enterprise-use high-speed digital multifunction printer models. They exited the printer business and sold their printer division to HP in fall 2017. In 2010, the company introduced the world's smallest monolaser printer ML1660 and color laser multifunction printer CLX3185. In 2017, Samsung acquired Harman International. Harman makes earbuds under many brand names such as AKG, AMX, Becker, Crown, Harman Kardon, Infinity, JBL, Lexicon, DBX, DG Tech, Mark Levinson, Martin, Revel, Soundcraft, Studer, Arcam, Bang & Olufsen and BSS Audio. Samsung has introduced several models of digital cameras and camcorders including the WB550 camera, the ST550 dual LCD mounted camera, and the HMX H106, 64GB SSD mounted Full HD camcorder. In 2014, the company took the second place in the mirrorless camera segment. Since then, the company has focused more on higher-priced items. In 2010, the company launched the NX10, the next-generation interchangeable lens camera. Samsung entered the MP3 player, digital audio player, DAP, market in 1999 with its YEP line. In the initial years the company struggled to gain a foothold because of emerging Korean startups iRiver, Kowon, and Bio. However, by 2006, it had gained a significant share in the domestic market as well as Russia and parts of the Middle East, Southeast Asia and Europe. It was also starting to increase penetration in the US, albeit significantly lower than the market leader, Apple. Samsung launched the world's smallest DivX MP3 player, the R1, in 2009. In 2014, the company announced that it was exiting the laptop market in Europe. In 2015, Samsung announced a proposal for a constellation of 4,600 satellites orbiting Earth at 1,400 kilometers, 900 miles, altitude that could bring 200 gigabytes per month of internet data to each of the world's 5 billion people. The proposal has not yet advanced to full development. If built, such a constellation would compete with previously announced satellite constellations currently under development by OneWeb and SpaceX. On July 13, 2017, an LED screen for digital cinema developed by Samsung Electronics with GDC Technology Limited was publicly demonstrated on one screen at Lotte Cinema World Tower in Seoul. Samsung runs Samsung Experience Store retail locations throughout the world. These locations primarily sell Samsung Galaxy devices, though they can feature other Samsung-owned brands as well. Samsung has various service stores throughout all of South Korea, which have showcases of various Samsung products available for purchase, and also have repair centers for those items. It also has stores dedicated to the installation of large household appliances such as TVs, dishwashers, and refrigerators. It also has stores just for the sale and repair of its memory products, such as the SSDs. These stores do not feature Samsung's own Samsung Experience Store name and branding. In December 2010, Samsung switched its management system from a single CEO system under Choi Ji-sung to a two-person management team with Choi Ji-sung, CEO and Vice Chairman, and Lee Jae-yong, Chief Operating Officer and President. In June 2012, Samsung appointed Kwon Oh-hyun as CEO of the company. Samsung also reorganized its overseas marketing bases in line with changes in the market, including a combined Britain/Continental Europe regional subsidiary, and a combined China/Taiwan regional subsidiary. In 2012, Samsung appointed Director of Mobile Products, J.K. Shin, to President/CEO of Samsung Electronics for mobile consumer products. The company added a new digital imaging business division in 2010, and consists of 8 divisions, including the existing display, IT solutions, consumer electronics, wireless, networking, semiconductor, and LCD divisions. It merged consumer electronics and air conditioners in 2010 under the Consumer Electronics Business Division. The set-top boxes business was merged with the Visual Display Business Division. The company's 2023 reorganization was as follows: among the 8 divisions, the Network Division and the Digital Imaging Division experienced new appointments, while the remaining divisions were maintained in accordance with their results. Executive Chairman, Lee Jae-yong. Vice Chairman and Co-CEO of Samsung Electronics Device Experience Division, Han Jong-hee. Co-CEO of the Device Solutions Division, Kyung Ki-hyun. Vice Chairman and Head of the Future Business Planning Division, Jun Young-hyun. The following are the names of the Board of Directors members. Ownership. Around 44% of Samsung Electronics shares are held by the general public, around 38% are held by institutions, and insiders held around 4% of shares. The largest shareholders in early 2024 were Samsung Life Insurance, 7.6%. National Pension Service, 6.46%. BlackRock, 4.83%. Samsung C&T Corporation, 4.4%. The Vanguard Group, 3.03%. Norges Bank, 1.76%. Hong Rae, 1.45%. Lee Jae-yong, 1.45%. Samsung Fire and Marine Insurance, 1.31%. Fidelity Investments, 1.27%. JP Morgan Asset Management, 1%. Samsung Asset Management, 0.91%. Lee Bujin, 0.78%. Capital Research and Management Company, 0.77%. Lee Seo-hyun, 0.7%. Despite recent litigation activity, Samsung and Apple have been described as frenemies who share a love-hate relationship. Samsung is a major supplier for Apple, first providing memory for the early iPod devices in 2005, and Apple is a key customer for Samsung, In 2012 its component sales were thought to be worth in the region of $8 billion revenue to Samsung, to the point where Apple CEO Tim Cook originally opposed litigation against Samsung, wary of the company's critical component supply chain for Apple. In April 2011, Apple Incorporated announced that it was suing Samsung over the design of its Galaxy range of mobile phones. The lawsuit was filed on April 15, 2011 and alleges that Samsung infringed on Apple's trademarks and patents of the iPhone and iPad. Samsung issued a counterclaim against Apple of patent infringement. In August 2011, at the Regional Court of Dusseldorf, Apple was granted a preliminary injunction against the sale and marketing of the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 across the whole of Europe excluding the Netherlands. The ban has been temporarily lifted in the European Union, with the exclusion of Germany, while it is investigated whether or not the original injunction was appropriate. On August 31, 2012, the Tokyo District Court ruled Samsung Electronics mobile devices did not violate an Apple patent. The case only addressed Apple's patent that allows mobile devices and personal computers to synchronize or share data with each other and is not comparable with the U.S. court case ruled on August 24. On October 18, 2012, the UK High Court ruled that Samsung did not infringe Apple's design patents. Apple was forced to issue a court-ordered apology to Samsung on its official UK website. Best Buy and Samsung joined together to create the Samsung Experience Shop, a store that allows customers to test the company's products, and get training in mobile products they already own. In summer 2013, more than 1,400 Best Buy and Best Buy mobile stores have established the Samsung Experience Shop. About 460 square feet of space are dedicated for the SES, with the company's placement at Best Buy's entrance, as well as its sign visible in any part of the store. The purpose of the Samsung Experience Shop is to make Samsung's products, i.e. the Galaxy, more accessible to customers. The first Samsung Experience Shops began appearing across Best Buy locations in the United States in May 2013. In May 2014, Best Buy announced its plans to add 500 new Samsung Entertainment Experience Shops. While the previous Samsung Experience locations focused primarily on showcasing and providing support for Samsung's Galaxy smartphones, cameras, and tablets, these new locations will showcase and support the company's home theater products. Unlike the Samsung Experience Shop, the Samsung Entertainment Experience will be run by Samsung-trained Best Buy associates. The new centers are expected to finish being made in the US by January 2015. In the early 1990s, Samsung began considering the importance of physical design in its products. When Chairman Lee declared 1996 the year of design revolution, a comprehensive global design program was initiated with the goal of design being a strategic asset and competitive advantage for the company. Located in the company's high-rise headquarters in Gangnam, south of Seoul, the Corporate Design Center includes more than 900 full-time designers. In 1971 there were only a few designers in the whole company, whose number rose to 1,600 by 2015. In addition to the Corporate Design Center in Seoul, there are design centers located in Tokyo, San Francisco, and London. The company overhauls its design over a 2-year cycle. For the first year, it scrutinizes design trends of the world, followed by product strategies. It then maps out new design plans during the second year. Since 2006, it has won as many as 210 awards from international design institutions. It received the IF, International Forum, and Idea Design Awards. Working with partners, Samsung was the winner in 8 categories in the 2009 Idea Awards, hence receiving the most awards. In the 2010 IF Material Awards, the company won the Gold Award for 5 of its products including the external hard disk drive. The IF Material Awards are given by the International Forum Design GmbH of Hanover, a design award for design materials and process technologies. In 2010, the German company selected a total of 42 products in the areas of home appliance, furniture, and industrial design. Samsung won the awards in 5 categories including external hard disk, full touchscreen phone, side-by-side refrigerator, compact digital camera, and laser printer toner. All Samsung mobile phones and MP3 players introduced on the market after April 2010 are free from polyvinyl chloride, PVC, and bromine at flame retardants, BFRs. The company is listed in Greenpeace's Guide to Greener Electronics, which rates electronics companies on policies and practices to reduce their impact on the climate, produce greener products, and make their operations more sustainable. In November 2011, Samsung was ranked 7th out of 15 leading electronics manufacturers with a score of 4.1/10. In the newly relaunched guide, Samsung moved down 2 places, occupying 5th position in October 2010, but scored maximum points for providing verified data and its greenhouse gas emissions. It also scored well for its sustainable operations, with the guide praising its relatively good e-waste take-back program and information. However, the company was criticized for not setting an ambitious target to increase its use of renewable energy and for belonging to a trade association which has commented against energy efficiency standards. In June 2004, Samsung was one of the first major electronics companies to publicly commit to eliminate PVC and BFRs from new models of all their products. However, the company failed to meet its deadlines to be PVC and BFRs free, and published new phase-out dates. In March 2010, Greenpeace activists protested at the company's Benelux headquarters for what they called Samsung's broken promises. The company has been awarded as one of global top 10 companies in the Carbon Disclosure Leadership Index, CDLI. It was the only Asian company among top 10 companies. In addition, the company is listed in Dow Jones Sustainability Index, DJSI. The company's achievement ratio of products approaching the global ecolabel level, good eco products within the company, is 11 percentage points above the 2010 goal, 80%. In the first half of 2010, Samsung earned the global ecolabel for its 2,134 models, thereby becoming the world's #1 company in terms of the number of products meeting global ecolabel standards. The company is also improving its effort to recover and recycle electronic waste. The number of waste salvaged throughout 60 countries during 2009 was as much as 240,000 tons. The Samsung Recycling Direct program, the company's voluntary recycling program underway in the United States, was expanded to Canada. In 2008, the company was praised for its recycling effort by the U.S. advocacy group Electronics Take Back Coalition as the best eco-friendly recycling program. In 2023, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, awarded the company its 10th consecutive Sustainable Excellence Award in the manufacturers category. Many employees working in Samsung semiconductor facilities have developed various forms of cancers. Initially, Samsung denied being responsible for the illnesses. Although Samsung is known to disfavor trade unions, these sick workers organized in the group Sharps, supporters for the health and rights of people in the semiconductor industry. The crowd-funded film Another Promise was produced in 2013 to depict the fight for compensation of the victims, as well as the documentary The Empire of Shame. In May 2014, Samsung offered an apology and compensation to workers who became ill. The company subsequently did not follow all the recommendations of a specially appointed mediation committee, paid several families outside of a scheme to be agreed on and required them to drop all further charges, prompting Sharps to continue legal and public action. The quarrel was mostly resolved upon a public apology issued by Samsung in November 2018. In December 2010, the European Commission fined 6 LCD panel producers, including Samsung, a total of €648 million for operating as a cartel. The company received a full reduction of the potential fine for being the first firm to assist EU antitrust authorities. On October 19, 2011, Samsung was fined €145.73 million for being part of a price cartel of 10 companies for drams, which lasted from July 1, 1998 to June 15, 2002. Like most of the other members of the cartel, the company received a 10% reduction for acknowledging the facts to investigators. Samsung had to pay 90% of their share of the settlement, but Micron avoided payment as a result of having initially revealed the case to investigators. Micron remains the only company that avoided all payments from reduction under the settlement notice. In Canada, the price fix was investigated in 2002. A recession started to occur that year, and the price fix ended. However, in 2014, the Canadian government reopened the case and investigated silently after the EU's success. Sufficient evidence was found and presented to Samsung and 2 other manufacturers during a class action lawsuit hearing. The companies agreed upon a $120 million agreement, with $40 million as a fine, and $80 million to be paid back to Canadian citizens who purchased a computer, printer, MP3 player, gaming console, or camera between April 1999 and June 2002. On April 15, 2011, Apple sued Samsung in the United States District Court for the Northern District of California, alleging that several of Samsung's Android phones and tablets, including the Nexus S, Epic 4G, Galaxy S 4G, and Galaxy Tab, infringed on Apple's intellectual property, its patents, trademarks, user interface and style. Apple's complaint included specific federal claims for patent infringement, false designation of origin, unfair competition, and trademark infringement, as well as state-level claims for unfair competition, common law trademark infringement, and unjust enrichment. On August 24, 2012, the jury returned a verdict largely favorable to Apple. It found that Samsung had willfully infringed on Apple's design and utility patents, and had also diluted Apple's trade dresses related to the iPhone. The jury awarded Apple $1.049 billion in damages and Samsung zero damages in its countersuit. The jury found that Samsung infringed Apple's patents on iPhone's bounce-back effect, U.S. patent number 7,469,381, on-screen navigation, U.S. patent number 7,844,915, and tap-to-zoom, U.S. patent number 7,864,163, and design patents that cover iPhone's features such as the home button, rounded corners, and tapered edges, USD 593087, and on-screen icons, USD 604305. Despite their phone's popularity, numerous explosions of them have been reported. A Swiss teenager was left with second and third-degree burns on her thigh due to her Galaxy S3's explosion, followed by 2 more Galaxy S3 explosions in Switzerland and Ireland. A South Korean student's Galaxy S2 battery exploded in 2012. Samsung's Galaxy S4 also led to several accidents. A house in Hong Kong was allegedly set on fire by an S4 in July 2013, followed by minor S4 burn incidents in Pakistan and Russia. A minor fire was also reported in Newbury, United Kingdom in October 2013. Some users of the phone have also reported swelling batteries and overheating. Samsung has offered affected customers new batteries, free of charge. In December 2013, a Canadian uploaded a YouTube video describing his S4 combusting. Samsung then asked the uploader to sign a legal document requiring him to remove the video, remain silent about the agreement, and surrender any future claims against the company to receive a replacement. No further response from Samsung was received afterwards. There were a few more reported Galaxy S4 explosions in India and the UAE. On August 31, 2016, it was reported that Samsung was delaying shipments of the Galaxy Note 7 in some regions to perform additional tests being conducted for product quality. This came alongside user reports of batteries exploding while charging. On September 2, Samsung suspended sales of the Note 7 and announced a worldwide product exchange program in which customers would be able to exchange their Note 7 for another Note 7, a Galaxy S7, or an S7 Edge, the price difference being refunded. They would also receive a gift card from a participating carrier. On September 1, the company released a statement saying it had received 35 reports of battery failure, which, according to an unnamed Samsung official, account for less than 0.2% of the entire volume sold. Although it has been referred to as a product recall by the media, it was not an official government-issued recall by an organization such as the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, and only a voluntary measure. The CPSC did issue an official recall notice on September 15, 2016, and stated that Samsung received at least 92 reports of the batteries overheating in the US, including 26 reports of burns and 55 reports of property damage. After some replacement Note 7 phones also caught fire, Samsung announced on October 11, 2016 that it would permanently end production of the Note 7 in the interest of customer safety. However, Samsung was hoping to recover from the lost sales from the Note 7 with the introduction of new colors such as the blue coral and black pearl color for the Galaxy S7 Edge. On October 14, 2016, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration and the Department of Transportation's Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration banned the Note 7 from being taken aboard any airline flight, even if powered off. Qantas, Virgin Australia, and Singapore Airlines also banned the carriage of Note 7s on their aircraft with effect from midnight on October 15. Mexico's largest airlines Aeromexico, Interjet, Volaris, and Viva Aerobus all banned the handset. On November 4, 2016, Samsung recalled 2.8 million top-load washing machines sold at home appliance stores between 2011 and 2016 because the machine's top could unexpectedly detach from the chassis during use due to excessive vibration. In 2015, users on the website Reddit began reporting that some Samsung smart TVs would display advertisements for Pepsi products during movies when viewed through the Plex application. Plex denied responsibility for the ads and Samsung told blog Giga that they were investigating the matter. In March 2016, soccer star Pelé filed a lawsuit against Samsung in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, seeking $30 million in damages, claiming violations under the Lanham Act for false endorsement and a state law claim for violation of his right of publicity. The suit alleged that, at one point, Samsung and Pelé came close to entering into a licensing agreement for Pelé to appear in a Samsung advertising campaign. Samsung abruptly pulled out of the negotiations. The October 2015 Samsung ad in question included a partial face shot of a man who allegedly very closely resembles Pelé, and also a superimposed ultra-high-definition television screen next to the image of the man featuring a modified bicycle or scissors kick, perfected and famously used by Pelé. In December 2016, Samsung forced an update to their smart TV line, which resulted in advertisements being displayed in menus on the updated devices. On April 1, 2013, several documents were shown on Taiwan SamsungLeaks.org saying that the advertising company OpenTide, Taiwan, and its parent company Samsung were hiring students to attack its competitors by spreading harmful comments and biased opinions/reviews about the products of other phone manufacturers, such as Sony and HTC, in several famous forums and websites in Taiwan to improve its brand image. Hacker0xp, the uploader of the documents, said that they were intercepted from an email between OpenTide and Samsung. 4 days later, the Taiwan division of Samsung Electronics made an announcement stating it would stop all online marketing strategies which involves publishing and replying in online forums. It was widely reported by the Taiwanese media. Taiwan later fined Samsung Electronics for the smear campaign. After Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Samsung's response to the Russian market was inconsistent, revealing mixed signals. Initially, the company halted shipments to Russia, seemingly aligning with international pressure. However, Samsung maintained a presence via gray imports through other customs union countries like Armenia and Belarus. Despite donating $6 million for humanitarian aid, Samsung continued sourcing Russian metals and considered leasing its Kalyuga factory to local businesses instead of leaving. By 2023, Samsung had resumed marketing activities in Russia, indicating instability and raising doubts about the company's commitment to international sanctions. On June 5, 2024, the National Samsung Electronics Union announced their first historic strike of roughly 28,000 workers on June 7. Negotiations failed to satisfy workers who are asking for a 6.5% raise. On July 1, 2024, the union announced that they would launch a 3-day strike from 8 to 10 July after negotiation falls short, with the majority of the workers striking from manufacturing states and in production development. The strike was converted into an indefinite strike due to lack of response from management. The strike ended on August 1, under institutional pressure and falling numbers, though the union said it intended to continue fighting for its demands with other tactics. Thank you for watching this video.